Senior police officer has said that Just Stop Oil protesters will be dealt with in a speedy and robust way if they try to disrupt this weekend's FA Cup final. Just Stop Oil have targeted a number of sporting events, including the World Snooker Championship in April. Last Saturday, they were on the pitch at the Premiership Rugby Union final at Twickenham. And today, the England cricket team's bus was blocked at the way to Lords for a test match against Ireland. Joining me now is Just Stop Oil spokesperson, it's James Harvey. James, thank you very much. Great to see you. So, are you going to disrupt the FA Cup final?
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Patrick. Good to speak to you again. And honestly, look, I'm a spokesperson. They don't tell me stuff like that because I'm too much of a gossip. But what I will say is that, any sort of disruption will stop as soon as the government stops investing in new oil and gas. The football match this weekend, I don't know. I'll tell you, I would like it if Dale Vince's team was playing at Forest Green Rovers because...
They've been relegated, haven't they?
Sorry, say again?
Have they just been relegated?
I don't know actually, but he has agreed to double all donations to Just Stop Oil over the next 24 hours. So if you've got a few pence spare, I think we've raised 65 grand in the last 24 hours. Go to juststopoil.org and chuck us a few quid. Thank you very much.
It's really fascinating, that, James, actually. I've managed to raise 55 grand for the mental health charity Mind, because I actually want to save some lives, whereas it appears that you want to ruin some. So there is a key difference there, I think, isn't there, really? But what would the benefit be for you of disrupting a load of working-class Mancunians from getting to watch their teams play an FA Cup final? How is that going to benefit your cause at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. People ask that all the time, but it's the principle of civil resistance, civil disobedience. And you can see the pictures there, which you're putting up, which was one of our colleagues, Sam.
Everyone just thinks that guy's an absolute pillock. No one looks at that and thinks, you know what, I want to just stop oil now. They think that this guy's a complete and utter numpty.
Oh, but it does get the discussion going, doesn't it? It gets the discourse going. It creates that tension, which allows discussion.
James, you understand? See, the thing is, the only people who really have you guys on a huge amount of times, OK, is us and maybe one other outlet that I won't really name. And you get an absolute kicking. And you get an absolute kicking every time. I mean, it is a ridiculous strategy. You go, we've got people talking about you. I mean, washed-up, drug-addled celebrities from the 90s used to say that, didn't they? Oh, any publicity is good publicity. Well, it says it's not, is it?
Well, look, it's getting things discussed. We've got every UK political party, apart from the Conservatives, now agree that we need no oil and gas. The scientists are telling us, the UN are telling us, agencies around the world are telling us. It's just the Conservatives that seem to be behind on it. So hopefully when Labour get into power next year, we'll see an end to all these new oil and gas plans that the government wants to push ahead within the North Sea. So these discussions, these actions are getting it into the public consciousness. And that's the really important thing, that we discuss this.
You come on and push this message. Are you yourself doing things like, sitting down in roadways, gluing yourself to stuff or what?
Look, there's all sorts of different ways you can support. I will be down in London in a couple of weeks' time. I am actually going
James,
to London in a couple of weeks' time.
Because the thing is, James, it's a matter of time, isn't it, before one of the people who listens to your message as the spokesperson walks out into a road and gets run over and killed or beaten to death or falls off a bridge or something like that. And will you feel responsible for it? Because I can't help but notice you appear to be back in your rather lovely house in Norwich, is it, where you work as a project manager, is that right? And there are people... Bring that up again.
I'm in a different room today, though, Patrick. I thought you'd give you a different
room.
But...
That's right. No, of course. I imagine it's got lots of rooms, probably. But anyway, you got a nice, cushy job as a project manager, but someone will listen to what you're saying and they'll walk out and they will take all the risk, won't they, James? I mean, have you been arrested as a result of these actions, Just Stop Oil, or not?
I've been involved with actions both with Extinction Rebellion in the past as well as Just Stop Oil. I haven't personally been arrested. Often I'm behind the camera on these things, but it's always a possibility. We go through lots of training to ensure we really stick to our non-violent discipline, the peaceful discipline. And it would be awful if anyone is hurt, obviously, but...
would you not feel some responsibility for that, James? Would you not feel some responsibility? You are like a puppet master sitting here telling people to go out and do things, and you're taking none of the risk. You just get to sit back and watch it, don't you, really? Meanwhile, someone might get seriously hurt. Someone might get a criminal record, but you don't care about that, do you?
I absolutely do care about that, and I will be down
Why
in
don't you
London
take the
myself in
chance
a couple of
yourself,
weeks, as I said. But
James?
what I
Do
care
it
more
yourself.
about is not doing anything.
Do it yourself.
We've
Go
got to.
on.
Sorry, say again.
Why don't you do it? Go on, you take the risk, mate. Practice what you
Well, I will be
preach.
down in
Don't send
London in 2 weeks' time, as I've said about 3 times so far.
some poor undergraduate who's possibly suffering, as indeed some of the members of Just Up All that I've spoken to, who are suffering from mental health problems. You send them out there to go and get a criminal record and destroy the rest of their lives, and you sit in a massive gaff in Norwich.
I wish I did have a massive gaff in Norwich, but as I said about 3 times so far, I've already been down to London on the Slow Marches. I'm going down again in a couple of weeks, and there'll be other actions coming up in the future, which I do feel a moral responsibility to get involved with. And people can support us in any way they like. They could be joining us on the marches, or they could be speaking about us to their friends and family, or indeed donating to justopoil.org, as we said earlier.
What kind of projects do you manage, James?
All sorts of different ones. It could be IT ones, it could be governance ones. It really varies depending on what my company requires of me. But it's an interesting job.
OK, fancy. You've obviously got a lot of time on your hands. James, thank you. James Harvey there, Just Up All spokesperson. Right, OK, look, I've probably only got about 30 seconds for this. Not sure if I've even got time. But a Conservative film critic has declared war on woke. James Carrick has set up a website which tells people if a film is worth watching or if it's too woke.